MatPat is one of the greatest YouTubers of all time. I don't think there's any denying that. His work is extremely prolific, from the Game Theory channel with 18 million subscribers to the Film Theory channel, which has millions as well, to the, I think, newest Style Theory channel, and I believe there's Food Theory as well. I mean, this guy is easily the most prolific video essayist of all time, just with how much stuff he puts out. And he's been doing it for 10, 15 years at this point. He's been absolutely crushing it. And believe it or not, he actually is kind of an inspiration for me. I remember when I was younger, watching the first Game Theory videos as they were coming out and being really surprised by how interesting they were. You know, not every game theory, obviously, you know, is held up to a high standard and is super up to snuff. A lot of it is just hypothetical bullshit that he pushes out because it's fun to make videos theorizing on silly stuff, like if Mario is a psychopath or whatever. But I've always found his videos to be pretty good, pretty interesting, and overall, just his influence over the YouTube platform is something that I really commend and respect a lot as somebody who personally is trying to build my own little media empire over on this corner of the internet. I see what he's done. I see the work he's put in. I see that he's been grinding. He's been hustling for so long. Clearly, he's obsessed with his work and loves it to death. That's been nice to see. And I've just respected this guy for a long time. I actually did a video about his career on my main channel. I believe it was called How Game Theory Dominates YouTube. And a lot of people seem to like that video. You know, some Game Theory fans saw it. They seem to enjoy it. There also were some people who didn't like it because there's some clip in there where he's from Ohio, and I said something about him having or not having Ohio Riz, but it was pretty fucking funny to see some people get peeved, pressed, or just annoyed by that. I mean, fair enough, it is a gay joke, but also you have no Riz, and also Despacito, and also Skibbity Toilet on your mom. But anyway, it seems that MatPat is actually throwing in the towel. He posted this video 2 weeks ago, as of the time I'm recording this, called Goodbye Internet, and it seems to be him just going over why he's leaving the Game Theory channel behind for different pastures. This has been a big shock to a lot of fans. Obviously, he's so iconic in the YouTube landscape. He was just even in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and it's sort of, you know, it's sort of shocking to see somebody who's been doing it for so long decide that they're going to throw in the towel. But I'm curious to see what he actually has to say in here in his reasoning for quitting YouTube. If I had to guess, the obvious answer is probably that he has a kid and he wants to spend time with his kid rather than spending all of his time on his YouTube channel. You know, he's at a point in his career where he doesn't really need any more money. He can just kind of exist off what he already has. So it's probably something, you know, to that effect, where he wants to kind of, you know, ease up on the gas. He'll probably still work. I can't imagine him not working, but probably wants to spend more time with his family. But without any more yapping from me, without any more Japanese, I'll let Matt speak for himself and see what he actually has to say.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I'll be hosting my last Theory episode, at which point I'll be handing off the channels to someone else. There it is. That's it. Send tweet. We're all done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow. Forgive me, by the way, if I'm a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely. But with an announcement like this, I wanted to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing. It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And sorry that I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's a big deal. You know, like, if you think about it, this channel is Steph and my first child, really. Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, CatBat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel has been going for 13 years. I think in total it's somewhere around like 1,200 theories, and only half of those are FNAF. Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related.
Now, it's you know, it's easy to make fun of him for being emotional, right? Obviously, some people are going to do that, but you know, it's also very understandable why he's emotional, considering the fact that this is his empire that he's built for 13 years of his life, for more than a decade. For really his entire adult life, he's been focusing on this. It's what allowed him to pay for himself to live after school. It's what helped him employ more than 20 people at one time. It's what birthed, you know, his entire adult life. It's what he's been working on, is his lifeblood. And I mean, clearly it shows because of how successful Game Theory is. I mean, even if you go to the channel like right now, it's not like they ever really fell off. Like, Game Theory is still successful to this day, getting millions of views on every single video. And they post pretty often. I believe they post every single week. And so it's very respectable that he's managed to not fall off. You know, a lot of people used to talk about the YouTuber lifespan, like, oh, you know, you might get 3, 4, 5 years if you're lucky, and after that it's over for you. I don't think that's real. I don't think there's any real YouTuber lifespan. I think that just early on in YouTube with a lot of early adopters, there were a lot of people who didn't have the longevity to really stick it out forever with their content, you know, whether it be due to a lack of personality, whether it be to a lack of foresight for predicting how YouTube will change and how they need to change. A lot of early adopters that blew up just were not super forward-thinking people, but now we see a lot of people like Matt, like Philip DeFranco, even Ray William Johnson is still killing it right now. You see a lot of people who are not just a flash in the pan, and they show that through their work ethic, through their hard work, their grinding, and through their ability to adapt to the internet and trends and topics, that they are able to actually, change the trajectory of their career and make it last a long time. 13 years is a hell of a long time for YouTube. You know, a lot of people will only get 1 or 2. So 13 is a long time, and it's not a coincidence. It's because people like the videos, because he's been consistently putting out videos that people actually want to watch. And the cool thing, once again, is that this is translated into various other channels. Game Theory is not the only channel he runs. They also run Film Theory. They also run Style Theory. And once again, Film Theory is not a small channel by any means. It has 12 million subscribers, almost 13 million, and they're still pulling millions of views every single video, and they're doing very well. And I think that if you're an aspiring YouTuber, you know, I have a lot of people sending me advice emails about YouTube stuff. I always just direct them to the same video. I made a video, I think it's called Small YouTubers Suck, where, a little bit of clickbait there, got to get people to watch. But the video has some good advice in there as far as what I have to say. Everything I could want to give for advice is there. But if you're looking to be a video essayist of any kind, I think you should take as many tips as you can from MatPat. And I can't spell them all out to you. You just have to look at his career, look at his past, use Wayback Machine to look at his old videos, reverse engineer what he did, and then figure out how you can apply that to yourself. Because the guy is just a fucking beast. He is. And he's been doing it for so long. And so it's not surprising to me that he's getting a little bit emotional here, because he's essentially, like he said, giving up his first child. You know, it's a labor of love that he's sunk thousands and thousands of hours into.
This has been a literal third of my life. And I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss this. I value what we have here. I value this conversation, this openness, this relationship that we share. And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week. Which then I guess prompts the question of like, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today? Why am I walking away from the channels? Well, to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott. Tom just did his farewell video, and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that's not it. But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's going to be a lot more happening throughout this year.
It's interesting you brought up Tom Scott. There does seem to be a little bit of a trend of certain YouTubers throwing in the towel lately. Tom Scott, I believe, he said he's not quitting YouTube. He's just not going to be posting weekly videos anymore because he's been grinding his ass off, and he realized that he kind of has nothing outside of YouTube, and he actually wants to like try to, have a life, which is very respectable. I think when you're doing YouTube, the most successful people, and I mean, this applies in any field too, but with YouTube, there's so much freedom to put as many hours in and work as hard as you want and try as hard as you want. And that allows for these like type A, aggressive, grindy personality types to just sink hours and hours and hours into YouTube. But unfortunately, if you aren't careful about it, you can kind of end up like the dude at the end of Whiplash, where it's like, oh, well, I guess he's good at drumming, but he also has literally nothing else. And that's kind of the thing for YouTube. Like a lot of these guys like Tom Scott or MatPat, it's not like they're strapped for cash. They have plenty of money. They probably have enough that, they'll be fine for the rest of their lives. On top of that, they already have built this big brand that they could potentially pass off to someone else. They've achieved a lot, but what they don't have is a personal life. What they don't have is stuff outside of it to sink time into. And Matt does have a family. He has a wife, obviously. He has, a kid. Like I think he has a pet. So he has people and things to sink time into. But he just hasn't been able to do it because the YouTube zeitgeist has demanded him, and he's given into that because he enjoys it. But apparently he's realizing now, I mean, I would guess anyway, I'm going to let him talk once again. I'm kind of yapping here, but I would guess that that's his big reason, for wanting to step back.
Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years. We weren't sure it was necessarily going to be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall, but we knew it was going to happen eventually. That's why over the last couple years, we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box, training up the team to make the best videos that they can. Because we knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are gonna.
And like I said, I mean, this is the sort of problem I described, where you become obsessed with something to the point that you're willing to sacrifice literally everything else in your life. And it's not a healthy thing to do, right? This is not like a healthy mindset to have if you're trying to be like a normal, functional, like chill person. But I actually respect this mindset quite a bit, because that's how you get to the top of any field, right? The way you get to the top is by sacrificing everything else in your life and being basically a psychotic, obsessed person. Are you going to be the most mentally healthy during that time? Are you going to have a ton of friends? Probably not. You're probably not going to be going on vacations too often, but you will create a giant empire that is more impressive than almost anyone else could ever have. And that's the love of the game, right? That's the love of the drive, the love of building something rather than, spending time with people. There's sort of different types of people in this world. Some people enjoy, just kind of floating through life. They're more easygoing. They like to just hang out with people. They're not really career oriented. They don't really care to like build anything while they're here. They just kind of want to do their own thing and have fun. And that's good for you. If your personal enjoyment comes from that, that's cool. But there are also certain people like MatPat, like Tom Scott, who love the game. Okay, they love getting better. They love building an empire and a brand, and they certainly have done that. And Matt has definitely done that. But at this point in his life, I mean, he's achieved so much. He is, at this point, he's 37 years old, right? So he's not a super young guy. He's going to be 40 in 3 years. He probably wants to take a step back and be like, okay, I made a bunch of money. I built an entire business. It's time to hand it off a little bit and refocus on actually enjoying the time that I have, left on this earth, instead of spending every single second of it on work. And that's a perfectly fine position, and I respect that. And it's probably going to be good for him in the long term as well, because instead of regretting all the things he missed out on in life, he'll get to have the best of both worlds. He built a giant media empire, and he also now gets to spend time with his kid now that he's built this thing and done this super impressive feat. Now he can kind of rest easy knowing that he built one of the biggest businesses in the YouTube game, and that's cool. Good for him. Proud of MatPat, actually. And this isn't even like me being meta ironic. Okay, it's really cool. It's actually really cool, and it's nice to see him taking a step back, spend time with his family and his wife too.
So that's a big reason. That was a big one right there. But also just the internet's changing. My life has changed in the last 13 years. I mentioned Ali before. He's the coolest little dude, and he's getting older by the minute. And I watch him, and he is so much fun, and he is so much smarter than I was when I was his age. He also probably knows the FNAF lore better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly, I want to be able to spend more time with him. Another sad fact of the matter is I'm getting older. I'm 37 now. The other day, I actually had to Google my own age. And you know that when you have to start like doing math in your head to calculate how old you are over the hill, my friends. Though to be fair, to my credit, I think I'm like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibidi Toilet. Then again, maybe that's the problem, right? Like, maybe that's not a good thing.
No, that's definitely a good thing. Matt, I think that, honestly, this entire video is just trash because of the fact that you tried to shame Skibidi Toilet enjoyers. If you don't like Skibidi Toilet, you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking and I don't care about you. You actually mean nothing. If you don't like Skibidi Toilet, no matter what age you are, you should be thrown into a rocket and shot against the moon, and you should be exploded in front of the American populace so they know. So there is a clear example of what we do to people who don't like Skibidi Toilet, who aren't Sigma, who don't have Riz, who don't like Baby Gronk, who disrespect Livy Dunn. It's a fucking issue, okay? So I'm glad that you're recognizing here that you like it. Do not shame yourself for enjoying it, okay? You are who you are. You were born this way. You were born beautiful, big-brained, and a genius. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? Mwah.
Honestly, because this is all about us being honest, there is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and look at the last year, this has been the best year in the theorist lifespan ever. Like, no joke. It is our highest view year. It is the year where we launched Style Theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top style and fashion channels on YouTube. And that kind of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different, and no other YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that scale. That's amazing. This is also.
I'm curious what he means about this whole analogy about the heat death of the universe and posting until you fall off or whatever. I feel like Matt's someone who would never fall off just because he cares too much. I feel like if he just kept posting forever, maybe there would be dips in relevance, there would be little highs and lows, but I don't think he would ever really fall off just because he's so good at it and he knows the game so well and he's constantly learning and adapting. And I mean, like he said, he's a 37-year-old who likes Skibbity Toilet. There aren't a lot of those out there, apart from, you know, the 37-year-olds in my audience who obviously enjoy Skibbity Toilet and are based in Zayst and they're jacking it up.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But realistically, there's just no way in my mind that he would ever really fall into complete irrelevance. But he is right, like he said there. He's built a media empire. He has 4 channels in separate categories that are completely different subject material that are all successful. Like, that shows how good this guy is at this. Most people can't build 1 YouTube channel. He built 4. He built 4. And he's helped other YouTubers too. This is the thing a lot of people may or may not remember. For a long time, he was doing consulting work for other YouTubers, trying to teach them how to make their channel bigger, how to grow, how to scale, how to hire employees to help. And he was like, I feel like one of the first YouTubers to really incorporate like employing a bunch of people to help him. There was kind of a taboo back in the day about hiring people to help you out with videos, and people were like, oh, it's not your pure creative vision or whatever. And he was one of the first people to drop that ego and be like, look, realistically, there's nothing that nobody else can do as good as me, apart from, you know, obviously overlook scripts and make sure the tone is good, make sure the jokes are good, and you know, narrate the videos or whatever. Obviously he has to do that. But he was one of the first people to be like, hey, I'll hire an editor. Hey, I'll hire someone to do this, to do that. And that made his channel way bigger because he could actually scale it and put out a video every week. If it was just him, I don't know if he'd be able to put out a video every month because of how intensive the scripts are, and certainly not on all the channels. So I definitely respect that, and I think that it's pretty cool that he was one of the pioneers of that. And I've definitely taken pointers from him on that for hiring people for the Turkey team, which a lot of people in my audience maybe don't even know about. I have talked about it a few times before, but I have a bunch of contractors that work with me, and we all are a little team that work together to, you know, make the channel's content as good as possible. And they help me out with pretty much every aspect of it. That's been a game changer for me in being able to grow my channel. Like last year, my channel, I want to say, doubled in size, just from, you know, working with people and like learning how to do that and learning how to scale things. And that's been a really valuable experience. And that's a pointer that I honestly took from Matt, because he was so good at doing that.
Also the year where I was able to meet you guys at our Broadway show. I was able to play at the PGA and show that, hey, YouTubers aren't particularly good at golf, but they can make your event relevant for like a couple of minutes. It was also the year that I got to host the Streamy Awards, and it wasn't cringe. I mean, to be fair, the Streamy Awards are always a little bit cringe, but it was the right amount of cringe.
And the winner is Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh yeah. Look at her face, dude. Breakout career.
Maybe a Tony Award, but now I'm a musical theater gal with a streamy.
Yeah.
Theater
that's my
TikTok,
girl.
we made it to the mainstream.
We made it to the mainstream.
532 days ago, I made a...
Isn't she funded by like one of the beer companies? Isn't that? She gets breakout creator when she's literally funded by like a beer company to exist. This is our breakout creator, somebody who was funded by the beer deep state.
Coming out video that turned into my Days of Girlhood series. And
okay, we gotta get off this. We'll go back to watching MatPat based.
When I pull up videos of all my favorite creators and I watch them, and all of a sudden I start hearing people just casually dropping, that's just a theory.
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now, this is just a theory, people.
At the end of the day, it's just a game theory.
That's just a theory. A Freebirds theory.
Also, a lot of lore, so if you're a big theory head, proceed at your own risk.
I did not know about this theory.
That's a theory.
okay.
That right there, that is incredible. That's the note that I want to leave on. And that's how you just know it's the right time. All of those reasons coming together, saying, hey, this is the moment. And that's hard to say because change is scary.
He's kind of right in that way. Like, I can't imagine if he was gonna leave. I can't imagine a better time to leave because he's kind of doing what Joji did and like getting out while it's still good. You know, Filthy Frank was at the top of his game when he left YouTube to do music. Who knows what Matt's gonna do now? You know, who knows what his career and his day to day is gonna be? But I mean, realistically, he was just in the movie. He not starred, but a cameo in the movie from the FNAF series, which he's been covering for years. Like, his videos are popular enough. He managed to get in the movie of like one of the most popular game franchises of the last 10 years, right? That's pretty amazing. And on top of that, I mean, he showed, you know, a bunch of YouTubers like Wendigoon. Shout out Mr. Goon for being the GOAT, by the way. But like using the game theory meme or whatever. That's definitely something I've used before in my videos, and like it's kind of a unanimous thing. Like, I've even known guys in real life who, like, it's not like we talk about YouTube that much or whatever, but they'll say something to the effect of like, but that's just a theory, a game theory, because it's like, you know, it's just kind of a part of pop culture now. And he clearly recognizes that and is thankful for the fact that that's managed to permeate our world.
Change is hard. But sometimes
and it's impressive. You know, it's rare to have a YouTuber have something that enters just popular lexicon as like something people say. I feel like the majority of people under the age of 25, if you were to say that's just a game theory, like I think probably 50% of them would understand what you're saying, like get what you're referencing, because everybody just knows game theory. 20 million subs, right?
The right decision isn't the easy decision. The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is with a video game analogy. Feels appropriate, right? Whoa, it's game theory, ha! Did it. Check the game part of it off. But the way I like to think about it is Earthbound. I think I've made it pretty clear over the years that is, without question, my favorite game of all time. Sans' Nest, all that, you're all familiar with that. But what you might not be familiar with at this point is how the game ends. At the end of Earthbound, after you save the world, everything opens up to you. You can revisit every single location that you've been to. You can talk to every NPC that you met on your journey. And it's this incredible moment as a gamer. You see just how many lives have been impacted thanks to your journey. And then after spending as much time as you want talking to all those people, you end up back home. You go back to where it all began, where you were just a kid waking up in bed and starting your adventure. And even though your mom's there and your dog's there and your weird telephone dad's there, it feels different somehow. Like, sure, this is still a place of love and acceptance and comfort and security, but you just don't quite fit anymore. Because you just traveled the world. You made all these new friends. You are different. You grew up. And your relationship to this place grows up. It evolves. In case you couldn't tell, I'm Ness, which I guess would also mean that I'm also Sans. But I was also Ness in the FNAF movie, which just opens up all sorts of weird canon. Slap a thumbnail on that one. So anyway, there you have it. That is why I'm leaving. I hope you can understand. But that obviously begs the question of like, what happens to the channels? Well, for the next 10 weeks, we're gonna have ourselves a big old going away party. If Unas Anus taught us anything, it taught us that you probably shouldn't use urine for a personal sauna. But if Unas Anus taught us two things, one was to not soak in your own urine, but two was to appreciate the time that you have left. So that's why over the next 10 weeks, we're gonna have a bunch of theories that are gonna be a lot of fun, revisiting old favorites, getting some closure on things. We're gonna see some familiar faces, a lot of awesome stuff. Although to be fair, I think it's 9.
Wait, was that Gaijin Goomba? Dude, wait. Hold
old
on.
favorites, getting some closure on things. We're gonna see some familiar faces.
Gaijin Goomba is one of my personal favorite people in this world, and there's a reason why. Now, Gaijin Goomba is a guy who used to do videos on the Game Theory channel. I don't think he's done them for a little while. I could be wrong, but he used to do a series called Culture Shock. And Culture Shock was a series where he would relate real life cultural events from like religion or stuff like that to video games. And one of my favorite videos he did is how the Minecraft villagers are Jewish. Now, a lot of people give this video shit. They say it's anti-Semitic. I think it's not, and I actually think he's right, but I also just find this video really, really, really funny. Like, I think it's hilarious. I think it's actually the funniest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
The villagers of Minecraft hold some of the greatest references to Jewish culture I have ever seen in a game. Okay.
The thing is, he's actually right. There are a lot of references to Jewish culture.
What the f*** am I looking at? Oh my god!
You even knew, dude.
They drew it in, dude.
Oops, it's easy for everyone to look the same. And for modesty reasons, that was kind of the point.
What? So they wear the same clothes.
Okay, listen, I like Augie. This reaction's dumb. The villagers are Jews, okay? You cannot deny the villagers are Jews. They are Jews. But the other reason why I love Gaijin Goomba, the main reason, is because of the Mario wedding. Now, Gaijin Goomba and his wife got married some time ago, and their wedding was Mario themed. and it was freaking epic.
Hey everyone, Gaijin Goomba here. So yeah, it's been a day since the whole wedding. For those of you wondering, I'm feeling pretty good. It's still a little bit to sink in, but it's good. So let me explain what happened with the stream, because I know like three.
So he ended up streaming his wedding live. And you can see here, he's Mario, she is Peach. I believe whoever this guy is Luigi. And they've got Mario stuff all around. And when they come down, they play like, I think Mario music or something, or Zelda music. So epic. Let's go. I'm not even making fun of this guy, by the way. I mean, I am a little bit, but also, like, this is f***ing awesome, dude, okay? This guy is literally the GOAT. So wholesome, dude, okay? It's not every day you get a Mario and Luigi wedding. In fact, it's quite rare.
Do you, Sarah, give this ring to Michael as a token of your love for him? Michael, will you wear this ring as a token of Sarah's love for you?
I will.
Would you join your right hands, please? I
wonder if MatPat is at this event somewhere. I feel like he would be.
Invested in me by the laws of this state and looking to heaven for divine sanction. I now pronounce you husband and wife in the presence of God and these assembled witnesses. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Let me kiss you.
It's wholesome. It's wholesome, okay? It's nice. They got married. They like Mario. That's their thing. There you go. So I'm excited to see him come back to the channel.
A lot of awesome stuff. Although to be fair, I think it's 9 weeks, and I think we counted this one as week 1. That was stupid of us. That, my friends, is how you wind up getting Wario being 10 feet tall. Mathematical rigor. Should have double-checked the numbers. So I have 9 theories left on each of the channels, but we're going to call them MatPat's Final 10 because that just sounds better. At which point then on March 9th, we're going to have that big going-away celebration, MatPat's Final Theory, and I just dust away. I stand astride my Music Man and I just whip a Nene off into the distance. But then something special happens. Do the channels go away with me? No, actually. I've always thought that anyone can be a theorist, right? If you are passionate about a topic and you love to overthink it and over-research it, then congratulations, you're a theorist. And that could range from, hey, I have family recipes that I'm constantly looking to refine, to, hey, I want to create the perfect fantasy sports team. Because here's the thing, sports pros, at the end of the day, if you are in the statistics and numbers and doing calculations to see if your team won or lost, you're just playing a glorified Dungeons and Dragons game. I hate to break it to you, you're one of us, my friends. And sure, game theory is a format that I
who is going to be the new game theorist?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed this, but fewer and fewer of the words that I'm saying in any given episode are actually mine. If you go down to the credits, you can actually see in the description that there are certain names that have been appearing more and more frequently. Like, yeah, I'm listed on every single one as the writer because I touch every single script, I polish it into my voice, but in all honesty, the bulk of what I'm saying is coming from someone else. It's their research, it's their work. Why should they have to filter their creativity through my voice? I've always envisioned these channels as a place where we could spotlight all sorts of creators.
So I guess there's just going to be a bunch of different theorists basically coming on. There's going to be a bunch of people. So that's cool. I'm not going to watch the rest of this video. I think we've gotten what we need from it, but it's certainly nice to see Matt, having built his empire, is ready to take a step back, and he's looking at everything he's built, and he's like, hey, you know what? I'm proud of what I've done, but I need to get out. I need to go spend time with my wife, with my kids, with my cat. That's good for him. I think it's really wholesome to see such a nice send-off. I'm curious to see what the future of the channel is going to be. That's one of the biggest things for me, because I feel like people are pretty attached to MatPat, so I don't know if people are really going to watch the videos once he's gone, if there's some other narrator. Even though, like he said, he's not really the writer anymore, I still feel like people like his voice, they like his sense of humor, they like his input a little bit whenever it's there. So I'm curious to see if people are actually going to watch the Game Theory channel at all once he's gone, or if the channel's going to fall off, a little bit, or maybe it'll do better than ever. Maybe it'll be just fine and people will like the new theorists, and there will be enough passion behind them, and there will be enough of an interesting voice that people will keep watching it. I would guess that at the very least in the short term there will be a noticeable decrease in views, and then from there it could either pick way back up and go to the moon, or it could fall into a dumpster, and then in a few years we'll have the rise and fall of game theory and how MatPat leaving ruined it all. But that remains to be seen. What can be seen is the like bar on this video, which you should like if you like the video, or dislike it if you disliked it. And right below that is the comment section where you can leave your thoughts and let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. See you all in tomorrow's video when we talk about skibbity toilets again. Fuck me. Bye. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members-only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.
No